Hello, everybody, and welcome to the bonus, sort of like the bonus round, I suppose, is what we will call it, for this episode of the Big Ideas Welcome podcast with the one and only Paris Woodhull. Right, so many creatives, particularly young people, but really creatives of all ages, shapes, sizes, and stripes, we all can consider ourselves imposters in one way or another. Right? So what would you say to Paris from 5 years ago about the things to be prepared for, about the things you'll be surprised to be strong enough to do, and about the things that you're always going to be dealing with?
I think a year ago I would have been a lot rougher on myself if I answered that question, and a lot more critical. But I feel like I've had to address so many issues and different things in my business. I've had to have so many tough conversations this year that I think I would be really kind to myself. I think I would be like, you are absolutely doing your best. This year in January, I found out I have ADHD. I went on medication. I'm just gonna say it, like I don't know how I got done what I had gotten done without the help of meds that I needed my entire life. So I think I would have given myself a big hug and say, you are incredibly capable of doing absolutely anything that you set your mind to. You cannot do all of it. I've honestly called, first of all, happy 1 year. It feels like 10. Feels like 10 whole years. It's been an amazing year, but also it's been absolutely the hardest year of my life in a really good way, where I've actually coined it as my butterfly period, because and it sucks being a caterpillar when you're learning. Oh my gosh, I'll try to not be too metaphorical, but no, I mean, everything from how to be a good boss, and also offer a space that also lifts up other people, but also, just learning how to be a good boss, managing well, figuring out products that sell well in a retail space, not just wholesale. How long do you have?
So much of what you have done has been self-contained over your life. You have created it, people have enjoyed it, and they've bought another one, right? What artists are so scared of so many times is operating at scale. And so your response was not about the artistic or the creative process. It was about the business side, about becoming a leader, about becoming a manager of people, of time, of resources, and of space. How have you approached that? As you are now an employer, right? You now have to make sure that that the lights are on. All these. What are some of the processes that you've learned, and what are some of the things that you continue to learn about how to scale your brand and your business with other people?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've had a huge lesson in, you can have an ego, but your ego cannot get in the way of you making the right decisions for you and your business. I will say, I've gotten a ton of help from my fiance, who, used to help struggling businesses. And sometimes I have to listen, sometimes I don't listen. It just depends. But, really not being scared to really dive into your numbers. Are you actually profitable? How much does it actually cost to get a t-shirt made by someone else? And at the same time, taking in, how different personalities work. Recently, I realized that, first of all, my custom work inquiries have changed way crazy over the past year. I'm starting to get a lot bigger jobs because I have a storefront. And that's amazing and also terrifying, because I get these emails and I'm like, me? Really? Are you sure? And so it's funny. It's I was literally telling Ryan last night, I was like, nowadays I get email inquiries from my website and they assume that it's going to my assistant, which, spoiler, I am my assistant. And it says to the Paris Woodhull team or to who it may concern. And I'm like, that's just me. It's just me. So I still I'm trying to maintain a certain level of enjoying the excitement, enjoying the ride, but also like remaining humble, knowing that this year it's taught me that you have to be prepared for everything, and that there's always going to be a mountain to climb. There's always going to be something to fix, and figuring out how to like also rest within that, and prioritize the things that are making you money, and that, the demand is wanting.
Well, Paris, thank you very much for joining us for the podcast, but also just for the work that you do. I just love it. I love to see you grow both as an artist and as a leader. And I'm excited to see where it takes you next. Can you tell everybody, one, where they can learn more about you if they don't know already, and then the address and everything about your storefront?
Totally. Plugging. Okay, so 121 South Gay Street on the 100 block. That's where you can find our shop. You can shop in person. We do production in the back. We will even show you that at Paris Woodhull on Instagram and pariswoodhull.com to shop.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I've heard from so many of you. I hope you enjoy the new format of the podcast. I hope you enjoy this bonus content. I am Chris McAdoo, as always, honored to be in your ears with the Big Ideas Welcome podcast. Thanks, as always, to the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center. Thank you to the Maker City. It's the creatives. It's the people that are out there doing the work, that are thinking about not just what's now, but what's next, that keep this community and communities all around the country and all around the world thriving. And it's people like Paris Woodhull that make up a very, very strong, valuable part of that community. Y'all, let's get to work.